And we are live, everyone. Welcome to today's session. Chris and I are going to be answering any questions that you want to throw at us. But before we go into any questions, we are sponsored by the News Guy. The logo is above, the link is below, and you can ask whatever the hell you like in relation to digital marketing. But yeah, so just had to get the introductories out there. Dude, I need to drink of this fucking water. Fuck it.
Chug it down.
I was just complaining to Chris there.
Craig was on a Mastermind. He hasn't had a beverage in a while. He's parched.
Oh, Mastermind. Then I had a call, and I've been talking for the last fucking few hours. And it dries out your mouth and shit. So it's never fun. So I've got a little bit of a flake here. I need some sugar. You know what it's like, Chris.
Without a doubt. I like those Airheads. They're like little strips. They're like sour. You ever have them?
No.
Oh, they're so good. Don't do it. Don't buy them. You'll fall in love. They're so tasty. They hurt my teeth.
What are they called? Airheads?
Yeah, they're an Airhead, but they're not regular Airheads. They're like Sour Burst or Sour Blast. They're good. They're very good.
I like sour sweets, man. I like all the old school sweets that you used to get when you were a young kid. They don't sell them the same anymore. Certainly not in the UK. I don't know what it's like in America, but we used to have like some good shit, like sour sweets and all that. They don't make them the same anymore.
Warheads too. They're not the same.
Nah.
You ever have a Warhead?
Nah.
Oh, they're good. They're sour than sweet. Perfect. I just had a call with a gent. His name's Pat. He's on. I think he's on YouTube. Patrick Rice.
Patrick.
He's a good guy.
Oh, Patrick's a great guy, man. You've met Patrick before, right?
Yes. Yep.
He was at our event, I'm sure, in Vegas.
It's so funny. I'm like, have we met? He's like, dude, I was at your conference. It's like, oh yeah, that's right.
Patrick's been to Chiang Mai and all of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, great little guy. I love Patrick. He's young, enthusiastic, puts his money where his mouth is, just goes and gets shit done, and he pays for consultations with guys like yourself or me or whoever. You know, he's not adverse to investing in himself. So for a young guy, he carries himself very well, and he makes a few quid and does some good shit. So I've got nothing but nice things to say about little Patrick. So
yeah, because you should have heard what he said about you.
I know Patrick likes me.
He does, yeah.
So you can't play that one on me.
I saw your face and didn't move at all. I'm like, nah, this isn't going.
Nah, dude. I invented that game, man. What are you doing? But we've got Fred Hutterson. Great to see you, Fred. Any
Fred.
questions, Fred? File them in the chat. But I know you normally like listening in the background. But if you have anything, put them there. Chris, Alec, sorry.
Hi, Chris.
Good to see you. Good morning, good evening, good
day.
Or depending on where you are. Mark, Rose, we would get sugar tax on those, Chris. You know that's a thing the UK done. They added sugar tax onto a lot of stuff. So in Scotland, I drink this thing called Iron Brew. It's orange shit. You always say to me, Craig, what is that shit? It's Iron Brew. Iron Brew actually, at a point, cut off the sugar because they didn't want to pay the sugar tax and stuff. But in the UK, they tried to penalise or add sugar tax to stuff to try and stop people from eating that shit. Whereas Coca-Cola didn't. They're just like, fuck it. We'll charge more money. We don't care. So
send it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Mark Rolls is saying, whatever happened to William Jones? Whatever happened to Jonesy? Jonesy's still in the go. I mean, I don't know. I've not heard anything different, but I still see Jonesy on Facebook and stuff. I'm pretty sure I seen him last night. on Facebook. I don't know what he was doing, but I was at his event. Well, you were as well, Chris, in October last year out in the Philippines. So I think he's still doing his thing. But
He took some breaks. Yeah.
yeah, I don't actually know.
I think he's at him. I think
Yeah,
he's at it.
he's
Yeah.
out doing his thing. But
Wish him the best.
wishing the best. Nah, he's always been a pleasant guy to me. So nothing but nice things to say about Jonesy and Patrick Rice and stuff like that. And even yourself, Mark, nice guy, always been pleasant to me. So yeah, it's how I like it. But
What do you, Craig, what do you
say?
think about these slides? Did you notice that slides allows an autoplay now? You think that an autoplay inside of a slide?
That's not a good idea.
Okay.
No, come on, man. Right, imagine, right, this is my thought initially when you see it. You put that slide up and you're not quite ready to press play yet because you know you've got something to say before the video comes on. That autoplay, it's going to fuck things up, man. It's putting you right under pressure.
I was thinking something completely separate. So like autoplay within the functionality when you share it. So you can make it public, you can share, and now you can set it to autoplay. And you can even make it autoplay and switch slides every second. And it's always consistently changing.
Hang on a minute. Mm-hmm. What do you mean by slides? Are you talking about a presentation? So if we're on stage, the slides that are on the screen?
Exactly. But inside of Google, like, you know, like Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides.
Yeah.
Maybe I just never noticed, but I'm pretty confident. Maybe previously you could set it or you could make it do that. But now it's just a regular function. You click a few buttons and boom, you can get it to just auto to start playing. Do you think that could be helpful for getting pages crawled?
Yeah. I think from that perspective, absolutely.
Yeah, because they
I was
right
more.
up.
I was more thinking of it from a different perspective. I'm talking about being on stage and someone said, we're making these slides roll every fucking 40 seconds. I'd be like, dude,
Wait,
I'm not even ready. No, I'll move the next slide when I'm ready.
That's right. For sure.
Not when someone's fucking, you know, because that's just going to add a whole, I don't even know if I could present in that way. But no, from your perspective, absolutely. I think that could help Google get to things that they may not necessarily have got to before.
Yeah. Curious. It's odd. Why would they add that? Huh. Just for me. You're like, Chris, you know, you had a bad week here, buddy.
Have something
have some fun.
Damage, blow shit up, whatever you want to call it. So
fair enough. It was a burning question. I just found that.
Fred has a question. Are you guys into the AI automated podcasts? Are you doing it? Have you played with it? What's your thoughts on it? I
went through a few of the softwares. You know, I went through Make. I even played around with Craig's favorite N8 I messed around with that. I had the trial. And then I was introduced to having like your own server. So you don't even need those connections. You can just run it all through Google or Amazon or Alibaba. But the long story short of it is absolutely. I want to be able to take either video and or written content and make it into a podcast with my own voice, which is pretty much very feasible and easy to do. It's just distribution. Yeah. So I think depending on the business, if more eyeballs is helpful for your business, I assume it is, then yes, I would definitely do it. And yes, I've tried it. How about you, Craig?
First thing I've got for you is how the fuck is N8N my favorite? I'm just curious how that get tapped with that brush.
The reason is because that's what you use.
I actually prefer Make. No,
switch hitter.
Oh no! I tell you what,
I like Make too.
I think N8N is a really good platform, but see for a dummy like me that needs an easier fix, I think Make makes life easier. I think N8N is a little bit more complicated and not as easy for a dummy like me. I get it. It's me. Nothing wrong with NAN. I think it's a great platform, but
I don't feel bad now because I thought the same thing in N8N. Like I'm like, this is not for me. I'm good.
It's just not comfortable, like for me. And I think we spoke about it off air before. You know, you can obviously go in there and do all this extra shit and all that stuff, and that's great. But for a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, I just need some fucking jackass fucking automation. I don't need all your fucking funny little bits in the middle. So just fucking do me this, do me that. Give me a fucking template that Chris has made or whatever someone else has made, and let me fucking whip that out. So that's my kind of thoughts on it. But I'm just curious how any end. But going back to the AI automated podcast, the initial question, not for me. I think people can do some great stuff with them, but I would always argue that there's so much of them out there, and these podcasts can be saying any old fucking bollocks, and it doesn't mean it's real. I think we could all sit here and talk bollocks and all of that kind of stuff. People say, "Well, that's not real either," but I think people want that human interaction. I don't think AI podcasts is great. I would find it easier just to fucking record the thing and say what I wanted to say. And I just think that whole interaction with someone and all of that is important. And even just the interaction with the guys here asking questions and shit. You can't fucking use AI for that stuff, So so what's the value? I don't know. But I'm not a huge fan.
Fair. Yeah, but YouTube owns the transcript. They own that content. So you take that initial transcript, you feed it to the AI, which sounds like you, and then you're able to make a variation. That way I have more distribution amongst the keyword set. So if I have a YouTube video for local SEO strategies for law firms, I could make a variant for local SEO strategies for attorneys. And that's odd. Now I show up twice. So I see the value there.
Yeah, but that's more of a spam fucking SEO type approach. But is someone really going to consume that in any great detail? They're not. It's a fucking AI generated podcast. It's not got the questions and the funny answers and the jokes and the all of the stuff that you need. The Chrissy energy is the word I'm looking for. So pulling out. Is the AI guy going to pull out some fucking monster and guzzle on the monster?
No,
probably not. So
dang, so you don't see the value. I was throwing that around in my mind, but I came to the conclusion that I think it's worth it. You're rebuttaling it. So if I'm putting out that podcast, it's still based upon the initial information, whatever is in a YouTube video or a piece of content, right? So that the info or the fact is still there. How it's said or how it's presented is different, but it's still in my voice. And even if I invested in, let's just say 11 labs, and let's just say it was $260 a year. For $260 a year, if I just got one client or helped 10 people, isn't that worth it?
But Chris, you're calling that a podcast. I see that's a video. You're trying to knock out AI videos. AI podcast for me is you're talking to someone.
Audio. I see.
Engagement. I'm not going to have some fake ass conversation with a fake Chris Palmer. I mean, where's the fucking? That's why I'm saying like the monster's not getting pulled out. This, that, and the next thing. I get it from an SEO point of view and AI videos to put out the factual information and build your topic cluster, if you want to call it that, with your videos. I can see there being benefit in that. But again, that would be a different thing from AI automated podcasts. I couldn't think of anything worse than listening to two guys speaking, knowing that it's AI and it's been pre-fucking meditated and programmed to say whatever they want to say. And there's no humor, there's no funny shit, there's no stuttering, there's no catching someone off guard, there's no one-line jokes, if we can slam each other, with an insult or whatever, all of that's missing. And I think that's obviously what I enjoy when I watch a podcast. I want
100%
to see that stuff. So
so I see. So that's so my outlook, the definition what I was thinking. See, a podcast to me is audio. That's a podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
But on to the next one, Banu. Hopefully I've said that right. Which types of backlinks are working nowadays? So a run through of what's working for you, Chris, on a day-to-day basis when it comes to backlinks.
I think the essentials and foundation. Well, I know that the essentials and foundation, at least for local, because that's where I primarily focus. Local, some affiliate stuff, lead generation. With that being said, the foundational, so name, address, phone number stuff, press releases, citation, directory, aggregators. And then alongside of that, I want socials, but socials inside of specific geolocations. Those are links, even though they're no follow. Then the next piece that I'm looking for is some type of authoritative based upon what the competition has. So just one that we all know, like a Forbes, an Inc., a CNN, a Washington Post, like whatever the big winner is, like whatever they have, I need one or two of those. And then the last piece is I'm looking for anything that's category specific based upon the link graph, like SEMrush or Majestic's. Majestic calls it topical trust flow. Mm-hmm. So category specific, high RD, high quality, as long as it stays in the SERP. It has to be crawled frequently. I used to not see the value in pages that stayed in the index, but I realized that the crawl, it's not the traffic and it's not the rank that we care about. I need that link to continuously get crawled so it doesn't start to decay or lose value. So it has to stay in the forward-facing index. It has to be category specific. And I want to build the least amount as possible. And that's what's working for us right now.
Yeah. I don't think there's much you can add to that, Banu. Links are links, and obviously people will use high profile PR, and they'll use PR syndication, they will use niche edits, guest posts, PBNs, all of the usual stuff. A link's a link, and obviously people have got different methods in terms of how they tier that up and all of that kind of stuff. So backlinks are backlinks, and I also think to add to that, I would even see backlinks as slightly more important now, because if you can get backlinks or guest posts and stuff like that on other powerful websites, you can help feed the LLMs and stuff like that. So from that perspective as well, I think they're always going to be important, but I think they're probably even more so important on certain websites where you can feed the LLMs or corroborate a story, or whatever it may be, because obviously you've got high profile websites and you can put stuff out to feed the LLMs, but also, like we've said on many occasions, if we're going to say that Chris Palmer is the best SEO in New York or whatever it may be, that needs to be corroborated amongst other websites. It can't just be said once or twice. So, I think also from that perspective, backlinks are important for corroboration reasons if you're trying to feed the LLMs as well as the link equity and everything else that you squeeze out of a link. So I think it's still very, very important part of the mix for sure. So there we have it. But it's all about cost, and like Chris says, cost, doing the least amount of them as possible, but trying to be consistent with them as well. I think link velocity is important as well. I don't think you can just go out there and just build a whole stack of links and then leave it for a year and then build a whole stack of links. I think there should be an element of consistency along the way. I think that's important as well, because I think you can see websites that are untouched, they don't get constant links, constant content, they drift away over a period of time. So I think you've got to bear that in mind as well. It's not I bought so many age domains and stuff, I've just not had the time to do anything with them, and then you go back and look a year or two later and the fucking DRs fell away to fuck. And all of those backlinks are still pointing there, but I think you need to maintain it a little bit more now as well, and velocity is a key part as well. So there we go. Sure. But Mark Rose is asking, Chris, addresses on your YouTube descriptions. Is this actually working as a citation?
It's a reference point. If I search for my business name and address in quotation marks, does it show up alongside of like Yelps and Montas and MapQuest? Why, yes, it does. And I can't think of anything that's more authoritative than Google. So yes, sir, I do believe that that is wildly helpful. And then I'm associating not only my name, address, phone number, and my business name, but I'm associating it to the key term and key term variations that are important to me. For years. Yes, sir. Is the answer.
So yeah, there's not much you can add to that. Unfortunately, Zapier is Mark Rose's favourite, which is an old but gold.
Old but gold.
Old but gold. Zapier wouldn't be fair to call it a tool, but yeah, it's no, fuck it. It's a tool. It's a tool as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, Zapier is good for anyone who is looking for any type of automation. That was in reference to our conversation earlier about any N, make, that type of thing. Zapier has beaten both of those guys to the punch and been around for a lot longer, so always worth a look there. Raihan, hello. Good to see you. But if you've got any questions, guys, pop them in the chat. We started off very well, but questions have slowed up. So put more in the chat and we'll go through them and answer them on a first come, first served basis. Whether it's about backlinks, whether it's about AI, whether it's about local SEO or anything else, we're happy to answer. And Ursol is saying Palmer got a halo today. There is a slight halo look behind you, Palmer.
That looks pretty cool. You like that? Hey. Thank you. That's what I was going for.
Yeah.
It's not really. It just ended up that way.
Perfectly positioned.
Move this over. Oh, whoa.
Hang on here. Hang on a fucking minute here. You get a halo, and he's saying I look like I've been in a 10-day stag party. What does that mean?
Oh yeah, don't forget to hit that button. I think that mirror camera. I think once you do that, it'll look crisp. I think it looks good. I'm always jelly when I see you.
I'm not sure I look rough today, or I've had a nice shave and everything. Had a haircut.
Oh yeah, you definitely look tired.
I look tired.
Oh, physically, I thought he was remarking on behalf of the background.
No,
but you do look tired.
I'm tired, mate. I've been at the gym the last couple of days, and I'm not going to lie, I'm tired. But
not too tired for this show.
Oh, never.
We're here.
I'm actually feeling all right. But
yeah, we didn't even break a sweat. I love this. I love SEO.
Yeah.
Thank you, God.
Mark Rose is saying that Zapier has AI agents. I did not know that.
Do you think Zapier could do what Make does? No way.
Let me have a look.
I
need to see this fucking shit, man.
Well, there goes your 12 cents from YouTube.
Jesus. And do you know what? I'm not even going to look just now because I'm going to end up fucking not concentrating on this. But I'm going to have a look at that. I didn't realise it had AI agents and stuff. It's been a while since I looked at Zapier, to be fair. But I'm going to have a nosy and see what do the AI agents do in there, Mark? Like, what sort of shit have they got? Give us a insight if you can. But we'll move on to the next one from Banu. There are some agencies in which are getting SEO projects from USA-based agencies. How can I get a partnership like that to get direct clients from the USA? So I'm assuming well, I'm not going to assume where you're from because you could be from anywhere, but everyone wants the USA work. There's obviously that's where all the money's at. So how can Banu get himself direct clients from the USA? What's the best way, Chris? The $1 million question that everyone asks.
Well, the first thing I would do is you need 2 American front runners, 1 male, 1 female. The next thing you need budget for some type of marketing. I don't know what your channel will be. It could be X, it could be YouTube, it could be organic, it could be some type of marketing. I need to be able to get in front of people. Once I can get in front of people and they see American, I think that's how you'll get your clients. I would start pushing some type of advertising, but run them to a calendar, run them to an appointment, get them on either on the phone, live call, live chat. Actually disliked running the appointments. I've been watching that consistently. We really want to get them on a live call. If we can do live chat right then and there, that would be ideal. We want to be able to cash any objections that there are immediately, and then see how we can help them for the future. So that would be my best advice. Get 5 or 6 grand together and you're off, or $1,000. Start off small, maybe $500. But the key piece though is when they first see either the asset, the site, what's the look, what's the feel? Is there any mention of wherever you're from? I apologize for not knowing. And then 2, when they see the actual human being, is it an American? I think that's how it would go. I don't see a reason why it would have to come up in conversation unless you were asked. Then you would have to say. But as long as you're doing quality work and you're helping their business, what's it matter, right? So I know the first thing though is people buy from people that look like them, and I don't mean that from a physicality. I mean that from just overall.
Yeah.
So.
I would also, Banu, I'd be going, like, I think Chris is right. It doesn't really matter where someone's from, as long as they do good work and everything else. But my other thing I'd be saying to you is, why are they going to use you? What are you doing that's so different? Why you and not the 100 other guys that offer
Right.
the same stuff? And that is what you need to try and put out there. Whether that be case studies or something, you're going to have to make yourself stand out. Why would we use Banu and not the next guy? And that is what people are always seeking. Talent. If you've got amazing work, I'm not talking about generic SEO, but whether you're good at Parasite SEO or something, you need to double down on that. What's the service? What problem are you solving for Chris Palmer? What can he hire you for and make some money on? And stuff like that. So that is what you're trying to get out there in front of people, because people from the US literally don't give a shit. They'll use anyone anywhere, if the money's right. And I think that part's easy. But it's making yourself stand out from that crowd is the hard part. And that's the $1 million question, mate. There's a reason why we sit on YouTube, to build our brands and stuff. And I think that's a great thing to be trying to do is try and build up your personal brand, and advertise and do whatever else you can do to get in front of those people. So hopefully that helps you. Fred is saying, have you used HeyGen AI video generator? Yes. Have you used it, Chris?
No, but I got that email, but I have not. Is that
HeyGen's decent, man.
Yeah, I thought it looked pretty cool, but I try not to. I'm trying to focus now. I'm good. I'm not messing around with that stuff, man. I'm good. I took my break. I'm good. No.
I've used it, and I think it's a great tool, and I've got friends that use it, Fred, and I think it does a grand job. I think I've told this story before, but one of my friends, Victoria, she's an SEO person. She's Argentinian, Her argument for using it is quite a unique one, though, and that's why I like to tell this story. She uses it because she's not a native English speaker. Her English is very good, but her argument is this: Hey Jen, an AI can speak better than she can English, so she can. You've not, so she could record the video, but she says, Craig, it gets rid of the M's and the A's and the O's and the slight wording, language problems, or whatever. So yeah, it's one of those ones where, it looks good. It looks very professional and stuff like that, and it helps her massively. So my argument to her is, why use Hey Jen when you could just record the video? But what she does is she records a video, puts it through Hey Jen, which takes away all the A's and the A's and the ums, and polishes it up. So, use it for whatever way you see fit. But I think it's a good one, man. So there we go. What are you guys using AI agents for? Are you doing anything with AI, Chris? Agents, sorry.
Not agents, no. No, not currently. How about yourself?
I mean, I'm not a heavy user of AI agents, but what I will say is, there's AI agents for many, many things, and I think they don't sit that well for my type of business as such. But I think they're very, very useful for many other businesses. So I wouldn't say no to them. But for me, is there any major benefit to using them in an aggressive way? No. And people will say, yeah, you could have an AI agent do this, do that, do that. AI agents to take your calls, AI chatbots, all of that kind of stuff. But I don't necessarily really need them. So not for now. I'm not really doing much with them. Is AI going to launch tools? I mean SEO tools to help bloggers. Is there an AI that's going to just launch tools and stuff like that, Chris? Do you think that's something that's going to come up anytime soon?
I would venture to guess absolutely. I mean, I think for anything, it's always follow the dollar. So if there is anything to be had by anyone, even if it's a crumb, yes, there will be many, 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 I'm sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't point you to any, though. That's not necessarily something I've been looking for. So I wish you the best.
Yeah. And Clint has asked, what do I mean by Parasite SEO? So leveraging, I don't know, Reddit or any other platform, LinkedIn, to rank articles or anything else that has got a lot of power that you can get your narrative on. Obviously, that we would typically call that Parasite SEO, because you can obviously optimize that article, the header and everything else, to rank well, and you're obviously leveraging the power of another platform. So that's kind of the way that we would term that up is Parasite SEO. And there's lots of websites out there that could be called a parasite. Like I say, Reddit, you've got LinkedIn, you've got so many other websites. I think the Indian Outlook India was one that got hammered probably about a year ago now. But leveraging the power of those big, powerful websites is good. And even high profile press publications, being on the New York Times or whatever, and you get that to rank, if you can get that. I don't know if that's a thing, New York Times, but
Dude, you reading my mind, dude?
But if we could get an article in there on the New York Times, and you can stuff that full of best AI agents or whatever it may be, I'm pretty sure that would pop close to the top. And obviously, if it's got your affiliate link in there or a link to your website, or driving traffic over to you and all that stuff, then we would typically call that parasite. Stealing the power and everything else from everyone else's or as many other people's assets as you possibly can.
Yep. Yeah, it's fun. I just started dabbling with that. But, everybody's always going for these, and maybe I'm wrong. I've had much better success, and it's not fast money, but it's like a slow trickle and it comes in every month. Highly effective, like CNET, Good Housekeeping, those types of sites. But for products that are much broader and you don't make as much per sale, but anything that's a recurring service, like for instance, I'm not saying this one, but like meal kits or Netflix or Apple Music or YouTube Premium, stuff like that. They're very easy to get onto those big sites. You get a bunch of different little products running, make a little chunk. I just started dabbling with that, Craig. It's funny. You're reading my mind, man.
Don't know if that's always a good thing. I don't know if I want to see what's in that mind of yours, but
couple bucks. It's fun. I think it's just fun.
Yeah, it is. I've skipped Rehan. How backlinks are important for Google ranking of a website.
How are they? It's not a coincidence that the sites that generally are at the top all look very similar to one another. But from a technical aspect, if you look at the age, you look at the category of link that they're in, what they're optimized for, what the word counts are, what the word density is, what the entities are, what other associated terms there are, they're very similar in structure and syntax, everything. So backlinks are very important because I need to look like the winners. So that's why they're important. I'm trying to get into the link graph.
Yeah.
But it's not the same. It's not 2015 or 16 or 17 or 18 or 20. From the helpful content update until now, things have wildly changed. So category specific is key. If you're going to use low equity assets, then the only reason to utilize those is for repetitive. I'm repeating specific types of terms in order for it to be gospel to Google. That's it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Hopefully it helps you.
Hopefully it does. Laxman, what are the site structure stands the AI chatbots and AI search engines loves? I know, but can you explain it a bit for all? What is the site structure that works basically for AI chatbots and the AI search engines? I don't know if it's site structure as such, Laxman. I don't know if that's the right way to be thinking about it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you could block those bots just like Googlebot or any crawler. They crawl relatively the same. They look at pages the same. I think really what you're looking for as far as content that AI loves is you're looking for things that are called syntax, the syntax of a page. Like how does it flow? The sentiment of the page. Look up those terms. Look up RFD. Look up syntax. Look up those terms. RFD. There you go. RFD and RFD triple. Look up that, and I think that'll get you on the right track. Hopefully that helps you.
Yeah.
Because that's a long explanation.
Yeah. You could talk about that alone for a full session. But if you do have questions, guys, try and be fairly specific, and we will do our best to answer them as best we can. Ursol, are you guys still running a paid for you mastermind group? Yes and yes for both parties. Your conference, I assume, isn't happening this year. Sadly, it's not happening this year, but we are hoping to do it next year. Well, not hoping, we're going to just make it fucking happen. Obviously time runs away and everyone's busy and stuff like that, but I had ill health for a few months as well. Had operations and stuff, so probably it's not probably, we just can't really squeeze it in this year because there's not enough time to market it and stuff like that. So we could hop in a plane and just go to fucking Vegas and do it. But we obviously need to market it well and stuff like that. We are going to do it. We done it in 2023. I thought it was a successful event, and the feedback we got was good. Like I've always said to people who ask, we made some mistakes, we lost some money on it, and we're going to do it differently and better and more cost efficient and all of these things. You live and learn from the initial mistakes. And can we do something? We both love Vegas, and both love the industry, and both should definitely put on an event, because it's just the right thing to be doing.
Yes.
So yeah, I like it. One, it's an excuse for us to have a holiday.
Yeah.
But there's nothing better than doing it with your peers and friends, and even people you've not met. An opportunity to meet up. So there's nothing really stopping us from doing it other than time constraints. But what were we talking, like March next year, did we say, or some shit?
I think
like
that's a very realistic goal. Absolutely.
So it's just trying not to compete with other events and stuff as well. That's the big thing. And we were thinking
definitely Vegas. Maybe not Caesars though, because they're they're too much. Not money wise, just too much. They're too corporate.
Do you know what, Chris? I'm not sure. Right, so here's the thing I like about events. Like we went to India. Now we went to the hotel. There was a rooftop bar where there was a party. Everyone's in the hotel. You have your dinner in the ground floor at the restaurant, and there was a party out, the back of the hotel after it. I like the flow of that. I didn't really like the flow of Caesar's Palace. I think it's too big, and I feel that at an event, it's important. The networking is the most important thing. Like, forget the speakers for a second. The networking is the most important part, and I think you need to try and keep people in the mix, talking and drinking together or eating food together or whatever. And I just feel like Caesars is too big, and some people would go to the food court, some people would go to the cigar bar, some people would just go away. Some people weren't even staying in Caesars, and I overall do not think that's the best option. I love Vegas, but I think trying to keep the networking a little bit easier, if that makes sense.
I agree.
So yeah,
that's the critical thing.
I think
it would be sick. Those what are they called? What's that thing that's underneath? They're underneath. Like what do they call those?
Underneath
villas. The villas.
Oh yeah.
The Caesars villas, and they hold like 80 people. That would be so sick, dude.
Yeah, but what much
is that going to
cost? Yeah, how much is that going to cost?
A lot.
Yeah,
it's fun to look though.
But yeah, we'll definitely do it ourselves, but Caesar's probably not. But like I say, I think it would be criminal if we didn't.
It would be criminal.
So yeah, yes. I like Vegas, and I've seen Chris in India earlier this year, but yeah, it's always good to catch up and have a laugh and all of that. So definitely next year.
I love it.
Banu.
I like that.
What do overall to rank a local services provider? Website like a plumber, locksmith, painting, cleaning, roofing, and remodeling. What to do overall to rank a local services provider?
So
Chris is your man for this.
Yeah, this. I mean, this could be a whole nother session, but to keep it brief and as helpful in general as possible, it really depends wildly on where you're starting from. But really, you don't want to take any bets that you can't win, right? Like if all the top performers have been there 5 years, a new player, it's going to be months of time and effort and resource. So with that being said, page age is going to be number one if we're talking about organic. But having some age, some type of equity already there. Like if I search for my primary key terms in maps, am I in the top 20? Am I in the first 100 pages somewhere for my primary key terms organically? Do I have an ads account? Do I have a merchant account? Do I exist to Google already? That's step number one. We don't want to start at ground zero. The next element of ranking is going to be, is there any other presence within the web? Digital reference points to point back and say, this is the business name, this is who they are, this is what they do, and this is who they service, and here's the area they service. So that could be citations, directories, aggregators, social media, podcast, YouTube, RSS feed, all of that. Okay. The next aspect is I need to tell Google who I help, where I help them. Basically, I need pages, I need content, I need video, I need audio, right? You with me? So I need to actually be optimized for these terms. And then the last piece, I'm hurrying it along here. There's a few more things. The next element that I'd look for after optimization is going to be, I would pay Caesar's what Caesar's is the term I like. I would push traffic, paid traffic. I prefer going right to Google. I would create multiple campaigns pinpointing specific geolocations. Like, don't just create one campaign and have multiple ad sets. Create multiple campaigns that only target specific areas with multiple ad sets. This will directly tell Google, hey, here's my business. I'm a real business. I operate here for these services in this specific area. Make individuals. That'll get people in the door, and it will jumpstart your campaigns. As far as traffic, people on the site, it'll tell you what you need to fix as far as CRO. It'll tell you, paid traffic tells you so much. But that's pretty much everything in a nutshell. Optimize everything, create the assets, do your backlinking, CRO, traffic. It's, again, we could go on a very long time. I could go much farther in depth, but that's about it. Thank you.
But no, I'm not even going to try and add anything to that.
I had to give him something.
There's not much else I can say. But no, Chris is right, and does a lot more of that stuff than I do, which is why I step aside and let him do his thing when talking about local services and all of that stuff. So you're not going to get anyone better than Chris to tell you how to go about that. So absolutely. And Terry Power, good to see you, mate. Hope you are well, mate. And I am almost certain you will be, the guys at SEO Spring Training, they're doing an online conference. I'm going to make the assumption that that's on just now as well. They've got a 4-day online conference, just online, not in person. So
right now, like literally right now,
probably it was on from Tuesday till Saturday, I believe. And what time will it be over there? Probably like 9 a.m. or some shit like that. So yeah, it'll be on literally now.
Why'd they choose to do that? What was the reasoning?
I'm not sure. But ticket prices are cheap. A lot of good speakers and knowledge and everything flying about. So I'm sure you can still jump in and get some information. Still on for a few more days. So yeah, that is on.
100% online.
Yeah.
Oh man, they're very affordable. Well, that's nice. Terry's a very fair guy. Awesome. VIP. I like VIP.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this one. Online conference. I could come up with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Very fair. You like that online though?
I don't really like it. I mean, you can rock up, do your thing, sat here, talk to everyone and all that. I don't really like that. I like going out to the event and chilling with people and going out for a chat and all of that and getting some sunshine and stuff. So I would miss that part. And when I tend to do the online conferences, which I've done a few of them in the past, I'm just like, fuck, this is not anywhere near the same. For me, what do you get? Some followers and some abuse and whatever else you get from speaking, and you're not getting the fun side of it, the networking, the engagement, the new people, learning some shit or whatever as well. It's It's just not the same, man. So I much prefer in person. I'm going to be honest.
I agree, absolutely. And there's always there's always like a bomb. There's always like somebody in it. It's not maybe not even be someone that you know of or know their name, but then you talk to them and you see what they're doing, and you're like, what the flip?
Oh yeah, there's always some
Every
dirty
time.
dog lurking about in the background that's fucking streets ahead of everyone,
Yes,
doing some mad shit, and you're like,
never says anything.
why did I not think of that bastard idea? So yeah,
Like,
that's what
like
the
that Dan dude. I remember like that was like 3 years ago. That was like the first person I saw with that make stuff. And he had everything already done. He already figured it out. I was like blown away. Like, what? 3 years later,
motherfucker, why is no one sharing this up in the stages? We're quietly working in the background.
yes, sick.
It's funny,
awesome,
man. But that's how we learn.
That's it.
Need to get out there. But Laxman is back, and he's saying, let's say site backlinks, DA and PA are at its best, but how can we recover from lost ranks, decreased rankings, change content, or change something else? That's a hard question. Again, Laxman, that could be for so many fucking reasons. The instant things you're going to think of there is there cannibalization issues, is there technical issues, is the content good or bad? There's so many other on-page things. Is your internal linking good? All of these things that could result in your rankings decreasing. Freshness of content or content that worked 5 years ago doesn't necessarily going to continue to rank. Has that content been updated and changed? Does it compete with the other top pages and shit like that? No, it might not. And I think, a lot of older websites suffer from that. And they're like, well, it used to work 10 years ago. And you're like, yeah, but, that was a 500 word page you've got. And yes, that was enough 10 years ago. But look at what Google are looking at now and looking at semantics and all of the other stuff that they look at. So I think, you're going to have to try and figure out what isn't good. If the DA and the PA are matching that of the competition, then it's quite easy to audit the content and everything else and compare yours to the top 10 search results and then say, right, here's where the weaknesses are. And could that be changing the content? Absolutely. I think everyone, and even if I was to go to Chris Palmer's page right now, selling his guest posts, I could probably look at that and say, Chris, you could do better. Why have you not done this? Everyone can always do better content, and I think tweaking it and fine tuning it is always the key to any success. And freshness of content and all that stuff. I think Google want to see changes. They want to see things develop. People are scared to change content, but I think you have to. So there could be many reasons, mate. And not necessarily backlinks. But Chris, have you anything else you would be thinking of there?
I mean, you pretty much took it all there.
Fuck you. You deserve that. You stole the local one from me.
This guy follows us though, because I looked him up real quick to see if he was talking about it on like X or Reddit or something, like giving up the tapes. I noticed he followed he's a good man. I would take a look at those performers who jumped in front of you and for what term variations. Okay. What's grab a grouping of those sites. How many pages do they have? How old are they? What are those primary key terms? What are the internal links pointing to all those pages? How much older, how much bigger, and how many more pages or depth of concept do they have than you? That's probably where you'll find what you're looking for. That's what I'm venturing that you're missing. It's generally not only a modification, but it's probably an ad. You probably just hit the top level or the surface level stuff is what I'm guessing, but I don't know without seeing. So yeah. I appreciate you. Thank you for your question.
Yeah.
Craig took from me.
About time.
It's his show.
But Fred is saying, Craig, any updates on your promoted YouTube videos? Still going strong? Absolutely. The promotions tab is still there. And I think, using that to amplify your reach, impressions, subscribers, and everything else is something that you should absolutely do. One, whether it's from a ranking perspective, or two, whether it's from an ego perspective, because it gets you subscribers and stuff, which is always something that people at times get impressed by. So I think there's no real negative to doing it at all, other than it costs an arm and a leg if you're doing it in the UK and the US. But obviously, you were at my presentation at one of the events where I probably spoke about it or spoke to you in person or whatever. And yeah, I think the promotions tab is not something to be ignored. I think a lot of people are trying all sorts of other fuckery, and I think that's one that works relatively well. Still for the here and now, that's the most important thing. So yeah, it's still going strong. Banu, Chris, any tips for how to rank in AI mode and in AEO?
I have a significant amount of tips right at the going away time. However, I think what I would start with, I don't even know where to start. I think where I would start is, what exactly are you doing? Like, what is your primary service, or what is your primary specialty? Once you've identified that, how much depth of concept can you create related to that specific topic? And then, do you want to be perceived as an expert? Are you just being helpful? Like, what's your intent? Like, is the intent commercial intent? Is it just informational intent? So I would need to know these things before I directed you. But at the end of the day, really, if you want to affect these things, it's all content based. The content that's key is anything that's entity related. If there's an entity or an entity ID associated to a piece of content, that means it's been identified and it's being tracked. So once you know what you're doing, once you know what your intent is, then what we're looking for is to create content. So that's articles, check. We can do video, that has entity ID as well. The next element is going to be audio, which also has an entity ID, even a new schema markup that you can utilize. And then I think that there's active training that you can do as well. Active training could be things like having Google's AI reading the page when somebody's on it. So it's all content related, my friend. You want to create depth of concept based upon whatever you're doing, whether it's commercial or informational based, and then you're creating as many entities to associate with yourself or your business, in a nutshell. Hopefully that helps you.
And I think that will help you, honey. How can we get ChatGPT, Perplexity, and DeepSeek for clicks and reference? Much of the same thing. Get yourself referenced on a whole bunch of websites, press releases, all of that kind of stuff, trusted sources.
Cool.
What has been cited by for the terms that you want to be found for, what's been cited, and go and replicate that. The answers are there in the sources, and you can see what's currently being sourced, and it's your job to make sure you go and flip that out, and that's quite easy to do. So yeah, PR, whatever you want to call it, is a big part of that.
Chasing what's being showcased is good in the short term, but I would think that scale is going to be good for long term. If we go and we analyze and we figure out that, okay, hey, Crunchbase, LinkedIn, YouTube, a podcast, and Times.com is how we can pop up for whatever it is that you want. That's good now. I could achieve that with RSS redirects. We don't care about now. We don't care about right this second. We care about the future. So we want to be relevant or be perceived as the expert or the specialist for the foreseeable future. And that'll be done with creating multiple modes of entity-related content: video, audio, and written form.
Yeah.
In my opinion. What do I know, though? I'm not an AI expert. But, honey, what I would look up, though, is similarity-based vector retrieval. And that's how all of these tools work. But Google's the best.
Yeah.
Like these guys, I mean, they're having a run, and they're clever. But Google's actually the front runner. So yeah, because they're able to they're doing scaled multivectoral retrieval. They were first. So they got it. So figure out what similarity is, understand how that works, and then once you understand how it works and how it thinks, then you'll know how to feed it. And that's where I would start, honey.
Yeah. Hopefully that helps you, honey. But on that note, we are out of time. That was a quick hour.
Yeah, always.
And yeah, we will be back at the same time next week. But before you go, please do check out the news guy. The logo is above, the link is below, and you will also see Chris's website below him, chrispalmer.org, if you want to hear more from Chris. And make sure you do subscribe, like, comment, whatever you want on the channel as well. So yeah, that is us for this week. That was quick, fast, boom, 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 which is what we like. So
For sure.
value in that. And we'll see you again, same time next week.
See you next week.